With the launch of the S5 II and S5 IIx cameras, Panasonic finally introduced phase-detect autofocus, putting it on par with rivals Sony and Canon. We've already tested the S5 II, but now we're looking at what I think is the more interesting model, the S5 IIx. It shares the same features like the new AF system and class-leading in-body stabilization. However, it adds the ability to capture ProRes video internally with the SSD port. With a bit of rigging, you can record hours of high-quality footage to a relatively cheap drive. ProRes RAW is also included for free, where it's a $200 upgrade on the S5 II. What's surprising is that the S5 IIx only costs $200 more than the S5 II. Is there any catch? Let's dive in to see how these features work. As mentioned, the S5 IIx has the same body and controls as the S5 II. One key difference is the design. The S5 IIx has a distinctive dark look with a black logo and subtle gray graphics on the controls. Like the S5 II, the X is a nice handling camera. The grip is large and has a ridge on it so it won't slip out of your hands, and the control positions are spot on. The menus are also among the best out there, with most settings easy to find. The screen fully articulates for vlogging, and there's a 3.69 million dot electronic viewfinder that's a bit low res but sharp enough to check focus. It has a full-sized HDMI port that's key for a camera with raw video output, and a USB-C port for capturing internal video. The S5 IIx also includes dual UHS 2 card slots, headphone and mic ports, and the same battery as the OG S5, GH6, and other models. Battery life for video is good but not great. Yes, the S5 IIx is a hybrid camera, but video is the main attraction. With high-quality ProRes capture to an SSD, plus raw video via the HDMI port, it has a lot of capability for the price. First, let's look at capture via the USB-C port. It supports internal 10-bit ProRes capture to supported SSDs, and with a bit of rigging, it's a huge benefit to videographers. Media is relatively cheap, and there's no need to transcode or even transfer footage. You can just hook up the same drive to a PC or Mac and start editing. In ProRes USB-C mode, it has a strange mix of recording formats though. It captures 5.8K 17:9 30p footage in either ProRes HQ at 1.6 gigabits per second or regular ProRes at 1.1 gigabits per second, but not at 16:9. It can only capture 17:9 C4K at 60p with a crop or 30p super sample video without a crop, but again, not 16:9 Ultra HD. The 17:9 part isn't a huge deal as you can crop the edges, but it is odd considering that most vloggers shoot 16:9 Ultra HD. Perhaps that's something Panasonic can address in a future update. Luckily, you can capture 16:9 5.9K 25p footage and 4K 60p and 30p at 16:9 in the MOV format. The latter supports all-I with data rates up to 800 kilobits per second when capturing to USB-C, which is nearly as good as ProRes quality-wise, though a bit slower for editing. On top of that, you can record 12-bit ProRes RAW or Blackmagic RAW files to Adamus or Blackmagic recorders via HDMI. It supports recording up to 5.9K 30p at 16:9 and not 17:9, or the rather odd 4.1K 4128 by 2176 17:9 format. Again, not a huge issue as you can crop the sides, but also a bit weird. Finally, you can record to regular old SD UHS 2 cards, where the S5 II is limited to recording long GOP files that aren't very easy to edit. The S5 IIx can do most formats using an easy-to-edit all-I codec at up to 400 megabits per second. 4K 60p video is cropped to an APS-C size, which isn't ideal considering Canon's like-priced R6 II has uncropped 4K 60p. Sharpness also drops a hair as it's pixel for pixel instead of super sampled. 5.9K is also pixel for pixel, but I like that format as it allows for a lot of cropping options. So how is the quality of all these different formats? In a word, excellent. 4K 30p video is super sampled, so it's extremely sharp. Panasonic's colors are accurate, quite natural, and easier to work with than Sony's files. Skin tones aren't as flattering as Canon offers, though. Compared to other mirrorless cameras with the same resolution, it has good low-light capability. The dual ISO system does a good job keeping noise down at ISOs as high as 12,800 or even 25,600. Panasonic's V-Log delivers extra dynamic range, particularly with ProRes. Of course, the best option quality-wise is V-Log RAW video. That lets you edit video just as you would with RAW photos, with a lot of room to recover highlights and shadow details. With those things together, the S5 IIx delivers results in line with expensive professional video cameras. Professionals will also appreciate the new hybrid phase detect autofocus. It's designed to eliminate the wobble inherent in Panasonic's past contrast detect AF cameras, and it does that very effectively. The S5 IIx offers continuous AF modes along with subject tracking for both humans and animals. It's not quite up to Sony and Canon models like the A7 IV and R6 II, as subject tracking isn't quite as fast or reliable. However, it's as good or better than Nikon and Fujifilm's latest models. The S5 IIx has updated in-body stabilization borrowed from the GH6, and it's powerful and impressive. It can't match a gimbal, but the electronic mode smooths out steps much better than the S5. It also has a Boost IS for handheld video with no movement, keeping shots locked off like the cameras on a tripod. And finally, it supports high-quality audio through the mic port or an XLR adapter that attaches to the hot shoe. If you need to use the S5 IIx for photography from time to time, it's not bad at all. You can shoot at up to 7 frames per second with the mechanical shutter, or 30 frames per second in electronic mode. The buffer is quite impressive as it allows for 200 shots in RAW before throttling. The autofocus can keep up as well, but as with video, it's not quite as fast or smart as the AF on recent Sony cameras. Still, for most types of shooting, it performs well. The stabilization system is rock solid for photos, and photo quality is outstanding with dynamic range up near Sony and Nikon's latest models. You also get natural looking colors and skin tones. It shines in low light situations thanks to the stabilization, dual ISO system, and relatively large pixels. When I reviewed the S5 II, I said that its biggest competition will be the X version, and now I'm sure of it. Simply put, this is a $2,200 near-professional camera with the image quality and most of the features a content creator needs. The new autofocus is good, but not quite up to the Sony A7 IV, and it lacks full-frame 4K 60p video like the Canon R6 II. It's far better for video though, offering ProRes and other features nowhere to be found in either rival model. One thing that might give you pause is the L-mount lens choices and value. However, Panasonic recently lowered the prices on key lenses, including this 24-70 f2.8 model. It now has 14 of its own lenses, on top of 31 from Sigma. All told, if I was looking for a new camera system for around $2,000, I wouldn't hesitate to grab the S5 IIx. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. And for more on technology, check out Engadget.com.